Come on, the Roman Catholic. Come on, let's get the fuck out.
That's some order. Have some decorum.
Now what?
Gucci sandals on the way I'm sliding up. I won't join no gang cause I speak truth and I ain't slime enough. I can't kill my brothers, we the same, it's just not adding up. Esau he a killer, genocide he keeps attracting us. Most I say be fruitful, multiply so we be adding up. Compare his seed to the sand of the sea, we deep so you can't add us up. My people they got hate inside they heart, they wanna paint us up. Grew up in a red zone, blood tears, I see red flags on us. This world be killing me with lies the way they capping on me. Like these publicans, they coons and seeing the way they taxing on me. Prove what you say, the evidence, show me the facts, lil' homie. Don't hold your tongue, just bring it out. What's on your mind, lil' brody? Riding on 4 Giottos, bougie, how we sip Moscato. Feast days of the Lord, champagne be rainy poncho. Salvation of the Lord's people, come on, we need that pronto. Wisdom, yes it bring riches, like we just won the lotto. Keep these commandments in the faith, my brother, that's the...
Aaron Lopez, a Jew of Portuguese descent.
Right, the Jewish people sold us into slavery. Right, they also provide money for it.
New England Jewish the a Jew of Portuguese descent who, like the Brown family, owned slave ships that had other business directly related to the maintenance and development of the slavery business.
You heard that? You got Portuguese guys in Brazil, they came there by boats, right?
He was not the only formerly persecuted Jewish man deeply involved in the business.
And guess who Jews was, right, those Ashkenazi Jews, they were full Portuguese, they were Portuguese Spain. And yet they went to the Americas, right? They grabbed the people there and bring them back to Europe. And they also went to the west coast of Africa, right? They went to the Ivory Coast. It's the reason why there's still posts and pillars there, even in Benin, right? They literally still have the, what do you call it? The docks where they brought the slaves. Yeah, they got the slave ports. You think they made that up?
Sounds like, yeah.
They made up the slave posts?
I didn't say there's slave trade from the beginning.
No, I'm talking about what the white man did towards us.
I'm saying there's trade right here.
So where were they going?
I don't know. Trading goods before.
It's actually documented. You can't ignore documentation.
Like I said,
if that's the case, you know why it's convenient to ignore documentation? Because whatever document you provide to me, I can just easily say, but they made that up. At a certain point, you got to acknowledge, like, you know, homework. That's all.
No, I do gotta go. Hey, I do gotta appreciate you.
You're an Israelite.
All right, you guys take care, okay? Thank you. I gotta go. Shoe's been waiting. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a hard conversation because any type of documentation is derived to witnesses.
He was not the only former persecuted Jewish man deeply involved. English-born Isaac da Costa settled in Charleston, South Carolina, and by 1736 became not only the Lopez family Kazan minister, but also their commission merchant in the business.
See, that's who was in business where they financed these slaves, right? So the other white settlers, or the other white settlers, the regions, the Swedes, right? They provided all this money for them so they could build these boats and go to the west coast of Africa, go to Brazil, go to Cali, wherever they wanted to. big, tall-ass giants is making America.
Anunnaki.
Yeah, the Anunnaki, man.
He mentioned that Egypt wasn't a real place. That was not a real place. They say it exists. They say Egypt is weird.
Yeah, I know they say it's in the Grand Canyon.
Because of the spirit.
Yeah, I saw a quote from a historian. Surely, his name is Bart historian. Surely the best way to deal with evidence is not to simply dismiss it when it happens to be it. Right? You can't just simply deny things because it's a fiction narrative. You can go to page 41 in the Black Holocaust Forgiveness.
Some 14 to 20 million African men, women, and children were killed either trying to resist capture en route to be sold.
Sold to who? Who did the Arabics sell that so-called black kids?
Waiting to board the slave ships or caravans bound for the Muslim world at the holding pens and dungeons, or the process of being castrated for doing slavery.
And those holding pens still exist. Those holding pens still exist today. Right? You can go to I believe it was Nigeria. It's Nigeria and another country too. Ghana. You can go to Ghana, you can see it. Right? You gotta tap into it.
A lot of these museums also got actual things that they whatever they got in there too.
He said it again.
I was saying like a lot of the, really most of the museums, they be having an actual object thing used back then too. So that's why it's in the museum. Like if you go to all of this in there, they got it in the museum. So for brother denying it, it's magic.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard conversation for anybody to just be that close-minded to accept documentation. He didn't even wait anybody. Yeah, he did. He just said no. That's ignorant. He saw that the highlight. He saw the really from there.
I don't think about this because if I started thinking about it now,
There wouldn't have been any slave trade if it weren't for capitalism. The European slave trade became very profitable by the late 1600s.
By the late 1600s, go ahead.
So much so.
Hey, brother, can I read you about your history? What's your name, by the way? Who's they? Who's they?
why do I need guidelines?
What's your name? You said Marquise? You don't read the Bible? But you're saying you need a religious, you need a religious
Well,
your talk right from wrong.
What's his name?
I don't think God is really a word used for God is actually a title. God is actually a title.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, we agree.
That's what I'm saying. So, okay, we'll start right there. Let's know. Huh?
Did you know that you're an Israelite? Well, hold on, brother. You know you're an Israelite. What else? You know you're an
Right
Israelite.
there.
The Bible. Keep the commandments. To the best of your ability.
All purpose and mind.
He said what? Yeah, it is.
120. Guess what?
613.
Yeah. That's where they left it out. I can't talk too much right now.
You inebriated? You inebriated?
I've been, look, I'm Rick James. I'm a whole comedian out here. Coffee tip. know what I'm saying? So I don't sit here about nobody. Come on. Shalom.
You gotta repent. You an Israelite. You gotta keep the commandments of Most High God. Like, you gotta throw away the idol. Right? That's the bomb. I mean, you gotta come back to your culture, your identity.
The roads and columns, right? The street thing. Myself before they even knew about me.
Alright.
That's why I'm worried.
Respect me. That's why you wear it.
Oh, no, I'm not wearing this type of shit.
You said what?
I come here.
Huh?
There will be a World War III 45.
I know that. God is everywhere. Y'all think about it.
All right, just bring out the word. Bring that back up. Go back.
God is
It's by the
everywhere.
spirit. It's by the spirit. Can't reason. Can't reason.
And that is 1713. The Roman Catholic Church became a commercial go-between to stop European nations.
God. Hold on.
Wait. Hold up, brother. Hold up.
The Roman Catholic
Hold on,
Church,
brother.
they run
Hold
this-
on.
Hold on.
We're reading. Brother, how you gonna cut off the brother?
Oh, man, hold on.
Come on,
The Roman Catholic Church.
let's go.
Come on now, let's get the fuck out.
Have some order. Have some decorum.
Now what?
Bring out Deuteronomy 28. Foaming at the mouth. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse number 28. And it reads, "The Lord shall smite thee with madness, and with blindness and astonishment of heart." Our forefathers wasn't like that, man. They were more mighty, they were zealous, they knew the scriptures. They damn sure didn't have on any idols on their chests. They didn't have rocks playing with them. They weren't calling themselves Egyptians. They weren't thinking some another being was building the pyramids. They weren't thinking all this madness, man. So that's what happens when you're in Babylon, a God-forsaken land, right, where no living waters for so long. You're subject to just convert into their traditions, their ideas, right, their philosophy, and their madness. Can you bring out Deuteronomy 28 again? It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 3, verse 5. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 28. And it reads, "Out with the holy law, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart." You gotta be a blind man to just disavow this slavery and the existence thereof adapt to the West Indies. Yeah. To the West Africans. You got it.
Sirach 33 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
The heart of the foolish is like a cartwheel, and his thoughts are like a rolling axle tree.
Right. His thoughts are like a rolling axle. It's like a wheel. It's going in around and around and around with no substance. Just madness in a continual circle. Right? And you repeat yourself. I mean, they call that madness. Some go as far as to label it insanity. And that's the mindset of our people. We got one.
Right? I had a precept bringing out like how our forefathers wasn't like that. It's Nehemiah 8 and 5. It says that Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people, for he was above all the people. As he opened it, all the people.
Yeah, they were definitely attentive. You understand? Man, oh man. It's the book of Job, chapter 29, and verse number 7. When I went out to the gate through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street, the young man saw me and hid themselves, and the aged arose and stood up. Let me back off that verse. Our elders had that status when they walked around. Youngsters and also have another one. It's Sirach chapter 25 in verse number. It's the book of Sirach chapter 25 in verse number 3. If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thine old age? It's like in thy age. How comely a thing is judgment for gray hairs and for ancient man to know counsel. How comely is the wisdom of old men, and understanding and counsel to men of honor. And that kind of our forefathers and our elders now today have been deprived from that counsel to give to the young, people of this world, So it's unfortunate. You can go to transaction. That's a good one. You can hold that. You go to Proverbs 1. Right. The gates of the city. People go to the gates of the city. The gates of the city is where a lot of businesses, a lot of transactions and work and stuff. Right. You got people bringing in timber. You got a lot of importing and exporting. You have people kind of conducting some marriage councils and other things of that nature. Right. That's why that's why women is known, right, for men. Right. It's at the gates of the city.
Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 21. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttered her words, saying, she cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttered her words, saying,
in the city she uttered her words. That's what wisdom does. She uttered her words. Hey, what's going on?
Taking a photo.
No photos.
Taking. What do you mean? No pictures. This is a public place. No pictures.
No pictures.
Yeah, intimidating.
Under Act 2 in Michigan, you can't take pictures of people without their permission.
Hey man, everyone's black.
Hold on. You got any questions? What's your point? You want?
I'm just taking a look at what you guys are preaching. I actually am curious.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Oh yeah? You keep the commandments?
12 commandments.
12.
What's your point?
Do you keep the commandments?
No.
What?
I'm just curious what's going on.
Okay, we telling our people to keep the commandments of God. If you call yourself a Christian, I mean, I suppose you gotta keep them to be honest. Exactly. Do you?
Sorry,
Do you keep the commandments?
It's a loaded question, so I don't know what you're trying to prove.
Pretty simple. Not proving anything. Asking a sincere question. Do you keep the commandments? We ask a lot of people that. Do you keep the commandments?
No.
Now why not?
I'm unaware of it.
You're unaware?
Yeah, I'm unaware of it.
That's how he saw it.
What do you think about that?
What do you guys like? I'm curious. Like, what do you guys preaching?
We're letting our people know that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that they are indeed the Israelites.
That is right.
Yeah.
Right. We're the real Jews according to the Bible.
Right.
So when you think of a Jew, you may think of a tall white man with a long nose, right?
That's what they portray, right?
Yeah, that's what they portray. But you know what color Christ looked like? Historically speaking.
No.
Bring out. Revelation 1:13. Christ was so-called dark-skinned man.
No.
So-called black man. Now the world, they paint him to be this type of man, right, in color. Like a so-called white man, blonde hair and blue eyes.
See that?
Scott. What's your name?
I'm Brent.
Brent?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. Take it out! And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man,
Right, the Son of Man is Christ. Go ahead.
clothed with a garment down to the foot,
He had a long garment on,
and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
golden belt.
His hair and his hairs were white like wool.
You say you have woolly textured hair?
Yeah, wait.
What about this brother? Does he have woolly textured hair? The texture? Is his hair woolly? You got woolly hair. Is his hair woolly? You got it.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire,
Right?
and his feet like as a fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Right? You burn anything, it's going to get dark, right? That's the result. You say your feet are dark again. Okay? So if you saw Christ today, who would you refer to him as? Chinese man, the Asian man? How would you describe Christ? Say he is a white man? Say he's according to the freedom of the people.
According to
Revelation. How do you describe how Christ looks?
yeah, I feel like no one ever really like depicts what it's like, what he really looks like.
John just said, John just depicted how he looked.
Yeah,
What color though?
I mean that based on Revelation. red, it sounds black.
Sound like a black guy, right?
See that?
So what about this image? Is that true or false? Is that a true depiction of Christ?
No one really knows.
Do you know after reading Revelation? Do you know now after reading Revelation?
I mean, that's not concrete though.
Like John isn't a good witness.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's all like,
What?
it's interpretations, right?
I can interpret that.
I mean, it's interpretations, right?
You read Dr. Seuss, right?
Sure.
Right, red fish, blue fish. Can I interpret a blue fish to be yellow?
Yeah, but that's not as clear as that.
It's what?
What that red and what that red is not as clear.
Right, author describing a man's feet with brass burnt in a furnace. That's not descriptive enough. That's not clear.
I mean, it's why not just say he's black?
I mean, the author has the ability to kind of describe it like this. So the Lord is very poetic in how he describes things. He's the paint a picture so you can have imagery in your head. Understand that it's true.
That's no idea.
Never heard of it. Never. I mean, so again, back to this man. Is that what he looked like in the Bible?
I mean, according to that one scripture, no.
According to that one scripture, no. Yeah. Okay, so go to John 14. Go to Job. It's like in Jeremiah 14:2. Go to Job 30:30. One more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be honest. I'm just curious. Like,
No, of course.
Look at Job chapter 30, verse 30.
Bring it up.
And it reads, my skin is black upon me.
What did Job say?
My skin is black upon me.
He said, my skin is black upon me. Go ahead.
And my bones are burned.
So you have a lot of dark melanated people in the Bible. Right? Go ahead.
Jeremiah 14 and verse 2. Bring it up. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
You know what tribe Christ was from? Christ was from the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
That's found in Hebrews 7:14. Go ahead.
They are black unto the ground.
They are what?
They are black unto the ground.
So they also describe Judah as being black unto the ground. Christ is indeed from the tribe of Judah. So now we can only imagine what Christ's parents and his family members. They all have to be a reflection of him. The same way you're a reflection of your parents and your ancestors. So Christ's generation and his people that was like his flesh and blood were all dark skinned. And guess what they call themselves?
so I guess like what you guys are just your point of this is to say that like black people are Jewish.
Not my point, but the scriptures is teaching us that the so-called black man will be the Jew according to the Bible. The Israelites according to prophecy, the scripture, reason, history, authors, scribes, witnesses. All these things play a factor in account that we're Israelites. So do you agree that Christ is a black man? Or do you kind of not like that?
I mean, I don't think it really matters, right? He's white, black, Chinese. You know, it's about what he taught, what he preached. If he's black, then that's awesome. If he's white, then that's awesome.
You believe he died for you? First died for your sins? Okay, so if somebody died for you, wouldn't you want to know more about them? Don't you want to know their name, where they came from? Isn't Christ worthy enough to at least know his heritage? People he come from? You know where he came from? You know what his tribe was from? You know if he had brothers, his sisters? You know if he wore fringes? You know he kept feast days? You don't know enough about somebody that died? Wow. It don't seem like you really care to know about it. So that's why you say it don't really matter, because you already in your heart don't really find it important to know enough about Christ. That's right. Somebody who possibly will die for you. How you know he died for you? He did it.
These are fair points.
kind of saying, you know, die for me and I don't need to know anything else about it. I'll go a step further to say this, right? Christ died on the cross. So if he saw you with a cross, how do you think he'll make you feel? Of him seeing his death on your shirt. You feel happy about that?
I mean, I accept it. And, yeah, I accept Christ.
But that wasn't my question. I was saying if Christ saw you and he saw himself on the cross again, the same way he died, would he be happy or sad seeing that?
It depends on the way that I'm representing it.
That's how you represent Christ.
What do you mean?
Wearing him dying when your chest all over again.
I mean, that's just the way you look at it, right?
When you look at it, okay. You got a brother and sister. If I shoot your brother with a gun, right? And he took a picture of that situation, right? And I wear it on a shirt. Would you feel comfort if you wearing that shirt? Or your brother dying by a gun on my shirt?
No, I mean, I can see this point, yeah.
So you feel what? How you feel?
Yeah, I mean, in that light, yeah. But I mean, like, what's the point? Like, what are you trying to, like, are you trying to raise awareness, right? Like,
The parallel that I'm drawing is that it's disgusting to wear a cross because it reminds Christ of his death. The same way it's disgusting for me and distasteful for me to wear a shirt, right, with your brother dying. But I'm saying I'm doing it in remembrance. But that's not how you want to see it. You want to see your brother dying over and over, constantly, whenever you see me with that shirt.
I mean,
Dying by a gun at that.
you could say that, or you could say it's a reminder to me, like, this is the way when I put this cross on.
Would you wear that shirt though? About your brother dying with a gun? Bloody? Would you wear it?
Yeah, but that's a whole different argument, right?
Why?
What do you mean? Yeah, no, it's not. 'Cause it's not like my brother died for humanity.
It doesn't matter. The point is, the parallel I'm drawing is, right? He's reminded of how he died, right? Would you want to be reminded of how your brother died constantly? No, right?
It depends.
No, you gotta be sincere, right? Come on, Frank. Yeah. What if you had a puppy and I just stomped him out with my Timbs, my butters, right? I stomped him out and you saw it, and he took a picture, and I wear it on my shirt. And I also wear I wear a Tim
What necklace? That did no good for nobody.
and the dog head at the bottom is blooded.
Yeah, but there's nothing good that came out of that, right? You're saying there's nothing good that came out of Christ
I'm
dying
saying
on the
there's
cross?
nothing good about seeing and being reminded of somebody's death constantly. That's not good. It's kind of sick.
Nobody wear a chain and him rising.
Yeah. Nobody wear a chain of him rising or coming out the tomb, you know, the tomb opening it. Nobody does that. Nobody has a picture. That's a good point. Nobody got a picture of him, you know, walking on the water. It's just him dying. That's mortality. That's sorrow.
I mean, these are all interesting points that you make. I'm glad that you bring them up. I guess the one thing that I would consider is when you guys are out here doing would Jesus go about the approach of making someone feel shameful?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what you guys are
Christ
doing.
did that. He brought out shame. Shame is good. It's good to feel shame. Because you know what shame produces? It produces good fruit. It produces a man to be a new person, a new creature. Right? You don't think that woman at the well felt shame? He rebuked her and said, you got multiple husbands? Sure, she felt shame. Shame is important. It's a necessary ingredient for you to become a mighty man.
That's right.
I would agree with that.
So, you know, we doing our best to follow after Christ. We want to bring shame to people. That's right. We feel shame. We're not sorry for 121. You know, you want your wife to be shameless, or you want her to have some shame?
Circumstances.
If she twerking at your
Yeah, of course, right? That's why I said depends on the circumstance.
so it depends.
On the circumstance.
What's the situation where it's good for her to be shameless?
If she was speaking of her faith in front of other people, I think that's a good time to be shameless. You don't think so? Why not? So a lot of people are ashamed to speak their faith. Would you agree?
No, when I say shameless, I mean acting immodest.
Okay, well that's a whole different thing. You have to be clear.
Shameless versus shamefast, right? Susanna, right? Rebecca, Leah, they were shamefast.
Yeah, sure.
They weren't
Yeah.
shameless.
In that sense, I agree. Yeah.
So that's why I posed the question again, right? Would you want your wife to be shamefast or shameless?
Well, it's a different question.
Shamefast.
To be honest, I don't know what shamefast means.
Shamefast, pull out the definition. Go all going to learn something today, right? Even those that may be questioned, right? The definition of shame fast, innocent, right? You go to Sunday school?
I haven't in a long time.
Shame fast is an archaic meaning. It's like an archaic word meaning modest, shy, or bashful.
Modest, shy, or bashful. So that's a very good attribute for women. Right? So Christ, when he rebuked that woman at the well, he had to make her feel that shame so she can understand that she has to be more ashamed. Because prior to that situation in countenance, if she was shameless, you know, God knows what she was doing. So all these things are important. And that just goes back to your original question. Do you think this is what Christ would do to make people feel shameful? Yes. He called people hypocrites. That makes somebody feel ashamed. Yeah. And shame is a good feeling because that's your conscience condemning.
All right.
Yeah, he beat people and flipped tables.
Yeah, he did do that.
Flip that table. Yeah, it's a good opportunity to get right into the light. And Christ is that light.
Right now? That's a cross.
You throw that away.
Not for Jesus.
Well, you want to
Jesus told me to do it, I do it. Well, I mean, that's your opinion.
Guess what Christ said?
This is interesting information.
Hold on. Guess what Christ said, right? He said, what you're doing to my brothers, you're doing to me, right? So whatever you're doing to your brothers, not that you're our brother, right? But the point of the fact is, you're doing it to Christ. Yeah, you're doing it to Christ. So what if Christ is talking to you? What he said, throw that away. You don't want to do it.
I don't believe
Not
it.
that I care. I just want to see where your integrity lies.
To be honest, I don't believe that he's speaking through you.
See that? Is it hard to believe that a black man is Christ too?
No, it's not. Because I know the earliest findings of Christianity was what I've heard was African. So I mean, that wouldn't be surprising to me. I have nothing against it. I think it's interesting. I just was curious what's going on here. What I feel like is hostile about it is like I feel like you guys are lacking that, and I feel like that's not the type of love that Jesus spread. So that'd be like my only I guess the only thing that's strange about this is it feels like it's, you know, like let's whoever comes violent, let's make them feel left out or something. Yeah, I mean, it just feels like this is like a let's put us up here and put them down here. That type of thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That
sounds like manipulation or some type of slithery tongue. Gaslight. Are you gaslighting us?
That's funny. No, but I mean that's the vibe that's getting put off, right? It's like
I think are you feeling intimidated?
I want to say intimidated.
Sure, Brent. We just brought out Bible verses. We didn't beat you up.
No, of course not. But it's the way you guys, you know, laugh.
We're aggressive. Who's laughing? Who laughs?
Right? That's what I mean. Like,
you laughing? No, you laughing too.
It's like okay, you prove me wrong, and then you guys laugh about it. Like, is that? You know what I mean?
We didn't laugh after.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Though. It's like.
Why are you not laughing?
I am laughing.
All right, it's a group thing. It's okay then, because you laugh too.
Yeah, but it's like laughing together or laughing at something.
You gotta be, you feel a little too sensitive about it.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
You're the one that came up here with your phone.
I was taking a picture. I was curious. I was curious what you guys were preaching. So it's all interesting.
All right, with that being said, do you agree that Christ is black?
I think you made an interesting argument for that.
According to the Bible, if you read it at home, would you confirm, right, that Christ is black?
I don't have enough. I know.
You said what?
I don't have enough.
You don't know what's going on. Damn brain. See, Esau, he know Christ is black. You know. He want to see a so-called black man die over and over everywhere that you know. That's why he don't want to throw it away. You know, Esau, they love death. That's why they love their, there's nothing wrong with games, but they really, really love modern warfare. right? They get into it, right? They tap into that spirit. They tap in, man. That's why they love guns like that. They love guns for violence and war. They don't love it for self-defense. You know, that's why the Cowboys, I mean, Esau in Texas, they go nuts, man. Yeah, stiff as a stick.
And like it too, the first thing he said was that he was a Christian that don't keep no commandments. Obviously, they don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on. We just picking at Esau. It's dry out here, you know, prophesy to the man, right? I hope he won't this day. He got real sensitive to the feminine thing. You guys are laughing at me. So what, man? So what? You just laughing. You laugh multiple times. Yeah, we don't give a damn. Yeah, Antiochus would have just said that. Right? Alexander wouldn't have said that. Steve told me would have said that. Stop laughing at me, guys. Esau in this land, he put out unlimited. We're laughing at me. I feel ashamed. What you guys are saying is making me feel ashamed. Like that. Come on, man. See, Esau, I mean, he got this land full of zest. Yeah, zest. Oil and zest.
What's going on, man? You good?
Elder, come here. Tell us something good, Elder. Hold on, Elder. Many cups. Elder, Joseph, get over here. Some cigarettes. Show us some cigarettes. We'll go back to the Ephesians chapter 4. Ephesians chapter 4. That kind of tied back into the lesson, man. Most High, how much more I didn't call it Esau. Right? He doesn't have a good work ethic. He can't do it, man, because he's too busy practicing the philosophy of heathenism, where you indulge in yourself pleasures, where it's not appropriate or it's foreign to them to know what shame is. Esau doesn't want to know what shame is. You know, that's why they women walk around naked. They do that in France. They wear short shorts. They got the ability and the education to teach their women, but they don't even give a damn because they're too busy tapping into self-indulgence.
God is the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 1. Bring it out. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of the calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God, and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Mashiach.
That's right. We all receive grace. We don't know how far that grace may extend. One brother may have more grace than the next. We have no idea. That's why we treat every day like it's our last. We thank the Most High when we get home. We thank Him when we arrive at our destination.
I can't
We don't
tell
put our grace
that
on cut off. Your grace being cut off is something kind of snap.
Reading on. Wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto the men. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up for above all heavens, that he might fill all things.
Go to Psalm chapter 50.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 51, in verse number 1, and it reads, have mercy upon me, O God.
Right, have mercy upon TT, Heavenly Father, in the name of Yahweh. Right? Hold on, sister, real quick. Sister.
According to thy long, it's like according to thy loving kindness, according to the multitude of thy tender mercy, blot out my transgressions, wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin.
Right, that's John 6:63. Everybody, that word is in the heart. You gotta pray. You're not praying that the Most High blot out your iniquities. Oh yeah, we something y'all yesterday, right? Y'all ran last night? No, you supposed to be out. I can't hear you.
He died out of nowhere.
What put this in? I forgot. Seen a few books. Bring it up.
They said he was
You wouldn't even like anybody saying what this
Genesis 1:5.
Genesis 1:5. What it say?
God called the light day, the darkness he called night. In the evening, in the morning,
You say that. Right. You say you read about the Sabbath day? Y'all know how to keep the Sabbath day? Can you click that day? Can you clean? What else can you do?
buy and sell.
You said what?
Buy and sell, work.
Right.
Nehemiah chapter 10, verse number 31. It reads, and if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals,
This is a good verse to have in your arsenal. Go ahead.
on the Sabbath day, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
It's like this when Nehemiah commanded the people, right? If any man tries to persuade you to break the Sabbath by buying something, by purchasing something, right? You gotta forbid it. Right? Go ahead.
We would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day, and that we would leave the 7th year in the exaction of every debt.
That's right. Go to Sirach 21. So if anybody entices you to sin, then you gotta deny it. You gotta release it. Of course you do it in a certain way. You don't just shake your hand and say, wicked ass nigga. You know, you gotta bring out the Bible, or you gotta weigh it in the balance, or you have to have your tongue be seasoned with salt. Like in Colossians 4:6. You got it.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 1. My son, hast thou sinned? Do so no more, but ask pardon for thy former sins.
Right? It's actually one of the Proverbs. If sinners entice thee, sin thou not. 1 and 10. What?
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 10. And it reads, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
All right, so if people try to entice you to sin and eat pork and bacon, you can't consent to it. You have any family members that try to do that?
They eat pork, but they don't try to get me. I don't eat pork at all. I just have pork.
What else y'all do? Y'all know how to cook?
What is wrong? No, fuck that, bro. I'm done now. That's what's wrong with that? That's the end of that story. What the fuck do you mean? What's wrong with that? What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here, bro. That shit's hilarious. What's wrong with that? I need someone to serve me. Get the fuck out of here. What the
Feast days. Who's going feast days?
I need someone to serve me, hand to me. Fuck that.
John 10, 22, he said,
He is super simple.
simplest thing I ever heard. It's another feast day. What about the feast day? Y'all know about the feast day where you can't eat nothing all day? Or not, that's not a feast day, but like, do you know about the holy day where you can't eat anything? I mean, you know, the feast I think of, you know, a lot of commonly refer to the holy day, I would say. The holy day where you can't eat anything. Alright, you got it. Leviticus 23.
It's the book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse number 32. It's the book of Leviticus chapter 30, it's like 23 and verse 32. It shall be unto you. It says, verse 23, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial blowing of the trumpets, and holy convocation. Ye shall not do no servile work therein. 27. Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whatsoever soul be it that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whosoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people.
And do y'all know why we don't have to sacrifice animals on these feast days?
It's the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 1. For the law having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image. It's like it, not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
Right? Those things in the ancient world, such as the sacrifices, when you take a bull or a lamb, right, they foreshadow Christ. Christ being the ultimate sacrifice, right? It's a stepping stone, if you will, right? And not only that, in the ancient world, you have to constantly sacrifice these animals, these goats, etc. But with Yahweh was Christ, he's that perpetual sacrifice, right? Everlasting sacrifice.
Verse 2, for then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers, once purged, should have had no more conscience of sins. But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sin every year.
Right.
For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins.
So it's not possible anymore, right?
Wherefore when he cometh into the world, he saith, sacrifice and offerings thou wouldest not.
Who's that he? That he is Christ when he came into the world. Sacrifice and offers don't do it on time.
But a body hast thou prepared me, and burnt offerings and sacrifices for sins thou hast had no pleasure. Then then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O God.
And his will was to be a sacrifice, right? The sacrificial lamb for the Israel, for the nation, right? So that's the reason why we don't sacrifice bulls and goats for our sins. So can we go back to Leviticus?
Book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse number 31. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath. It's like a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month. At evening, from evening unto evening, shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
That's the sword of Joel. It's like in Joel. grabbed it as well. Said 3 and 7.
It's the book of Jonah. It's the book of Jonah, chapter 3, verse 7. And he caused it to be proclaimed and published in Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, let neither man nor beast, herd or flock nor flock taste anything, let them not feed nor drink water.
And that's how you inflict your soul, right? By not consuming the things you've made daily consuming, such as food and water. Go ahead.
Reading on, verse 8, but let man and beast be covered with the sackcloth and cry mightily unto God, yea, let them turn every one from his evil way and from the violence that is in their hands.
That's the day you humble yourself before Heavenly Father. That's the day where you make yourself lower than what you may think you are. Right? Because this may exalt ourselves in our works. Well, I've done this and I've read so many chapters and I'm fast on this, right? That's where you just humble yourself. That's brother got the percent too. We get this to. We're gonna bring it out some stuff.
What's going on, brother?